Okay, we've made it to the last of our little Beast Machines basic class maximal non-show characters here, and yeah, it's a good one. This one is Battle Unicorn, and he wins lots of points for creativity in the name there. Now, this is somewhat of a harder figure to track down than the others, just because this figure was like really late in the wave, back when Beast Machines was already kind of on the decline, so it tends to be a little bit harder to find than the other ones. But yeah, he serves to be, as far as I'm aware, the only unicorn transformer that that has ever existed, and he's got a nice little unicorn mode. Like, I love the sort of like Trojan-y aesthetic with it, with the sharp angles on the mane here, and his little spiked hooves there. He's just a really nice little unicorn, and yeah, really cool little figure. Articulation in this mode. The back legs are on ball joints, so you can get a good amount of movement. There is a hinge here at the knee, but there's some like robot mode stuff kind of attached to it inside the leg, so you only really get like that much movement, which is not nothing. And then the feet, all four feet actually, are on ball joints, and then the front legs here, they're on a swivel joint on the front. But one thing you have to be kind of careful of is these shoulder pads, or what will become the shoulder pads in robot mode. They're connected to these little black joints here, just like, frictioned in on either side. And these also independently rotate. So if you accidentally like knock that off the joint, it is a real pain to get it connected again. Not too difficult, but it's just kind of annoying, and they're sort of easy to knock off. So I'm going to try to, keep them on as best as I can, but I guess I'll just get to show that off if I end up accidentally doing that. But yeah, so the front legs are on swivels. They can also rotate out, but again, because like this is on a separate joint, he kind of like sucks his calf into his thigh there, which is a little weird. But yeah, front legs are also on a hinge joint at the knee, which gets a good amount of movement, and then, like I said, ball joints at the feet. The tail, it's on a little hinge joint right here. It can also rotate. Not really that useful, but it's nice that it does that. And then the head, he doesn't really have any articulation in the head, because it has got this little gimmick where you push the tail in, and he kind of like barely strikes his head forward and like strikes with his unicorn horn. Kind of a neat gimmick, a little bit lame compared to some of the other ones. And then yeah, there's his little maximal spark crystal, not at all hidden like a lot of the other ones are. But yeah, to transform this guy, so you take the back legs here and you separate them, and then this section comes out. This will be his weapon. I think it's really neat how the tail and the mane becomes a little axe weapon for him. And it's also really cool just that, like, even though this is a separate piece, it's still a part of the gimmick's mechanism. It's sort of similar to how Hammer Strike's weapon did that too. It's just neat that actually works out like that. But yeah, so it was folded up like this. You fold it down and then kind of compress it to straighten it out. And there's his little axe weapon. And then from there, you kind of straighten out the legs at the hips here, and then on the inside of the back leg thighs here, it's got this little part that flips out, and then you want to flip this little foot around on the ball joint, and that kind of just sandwiches together with the rest of the robot, or the unicorn mode leg. Doesn't peg in or anything, but it locks together well enough. You just do that on both sides there, and then. Oh, okay, right. So the horn here, you actually want to flip back like that. It's on a hinge, and then the whole body on these gray sections here will actually rotate around the head. Kind of neat. And then you get that into a position just where you can close these back up together, so the head kind of sticks out like that, and the horn kind of sticks out of his butt. It's a little weird. And then the front legs, or the arms now of the robot mode, you rotate down on that joint and then open up the shoulder pad, take the horse mode leg and flip that to the back, and then flip out his little robot mode arms here. They're kind of on a weird double joint, so you have to get it so the feet are kind of sitting up over his shoulders. And on this section, this part doesn't rotate, so that's where it's like a lot easier to knock off this thigh piece, but also a lot harder to get it back on. So you just want to make sure that you really rotate that down before trying to flip it up like this. Otherwise, you know, you'll end up like breaking it off that joint. It's not like breaking it. It's just kind of annoying to put it back on. And then you just do the same thing again, where you flip up the legs and flip down the rest of the arms. And there you have him in his base robot mode. Kind of a little samurai sort of aesthetic going on. And yeah, not bad with like the baggy pants and the helmet. And then you can, he's got a little handle right here so you can hold his weapon. Unfortunately, you know, I wouldn't expect it from these guys, but there is no way to really store the weapon in any way. Like you can kind of just like latch onto his back, but it doesn't really hold. So, I just have him hold his weapon. It's something that bothers me on modern figures, but on these guys, it's not too big of a deal. And either way, it's a really cool weapon, so he looks awesome holding it anyway. But yeah, there you have him in his robot mode, and he's a really cool little guy. Articulation-wise, head, ball joint, good amount of movement there. The shoulders, again, they're on that rotation joint. Just be careful about the independently rotating shoulder pad there. And then they can rotate out here. It's kind of like awkwardly like midway through his upper arm, so it kind of looks like he's breaking his arm, but whatever. Elbows, just for transformation, can bend in like that. He's got kind of piddly little forearms. Arms are a little awkward, but not the end of the world. The thighs are on a ball joint. They get a good amount of movement there. The knees, now that this piece is out, can bend still actually not that much further. Only bend about there, but you also have ball joints on the feet, and you can kind of get him into some poses where he's got, you know, got it supported like that. So it's, you know, the feet I think have a good amount of posability to them. Just those knees don't really go very, very deep in. But yeah. Yeah, that's pretty much all there is to say about him. I'll show him off again with the previous ones that we've looked at. Here he is with Night Viper, Longhorn, Buzzsaw, Quick Strike, Gecko Bot, and Hammer Strike. And yeah, that's the whole lot of them together. Again, I'm pretty sure this is all of the Beast Machines basic class Maximals, other than Silverbolt, who of course was a character in the show. There might have been a basic class figure of Rat Trap, I'm not sure. But yeah, I mean, Silverbolt is like an infamously like terrible figure, and I really think that, you know, this is where the Beast Machines line really shines, is in its non-show characters. I mean, some of the Viacon show characters are pretty good toys, but I still think actually that most of the non-show character Viacons are better toys still. So yeah, a bit of that thing, whereas like they don't have to worry about like really sticking to anything resembling the show design so much. So the figures just are a little bit more free, and you know, there's a bit more artistic liberty. So they just work as a whole a little bit better than the show characters. But yeah, that's gonna end our coverage of them though. And as for Battle Unicorn himself, he's a pretty good little figure if you can track him down. I just like the novelty, of course, of him being a unicorn. It's really funny that his name is literally just Battle Unicorn, just because, you know, already a gimmick enough to have him turn into a unicorn. Who needs more personality than that? But yeah, if you enjoyed this video, make sure to leave a like and consider subscribing. I do reviews every Tuesday, Thursday, and Sunday. And yeah, without further ado, here we have Beast Machines Basic Class Battle Unicorn.